Then hey, welcome back everyone. So today I wanted to do a quick review on a new cigar cutter knife that I purchased, made by a company called L'Enfant, and this one's called the Petit, the small. Comes in a nice box, not that the box is really what you buy a knife for, and also comes with a bit of a tool to open up the scales and take it apart so that you can oil it up, and I guess I'll leave that there. Clean it as you go through. I also bought the leather pouch that comes with it. Well, doesn't come with it, that you can purchase. Has the emblem on it, and as you can see, I've been using this a little bit lately, and so here it is. This particular one has an acacia burl for the wood that is used on the scale. It's kind of nicely done. The look on it is attractive. The wood is figured quite a bit. It's an interesting presentation in that the wood itself actually doesn't feel like it has any finishing on it at all. So you really feel the grain of the wood. I don't know if over time that will get dirty and absorb oils from your hands as you're working with it, but for now it's a really nice, comfortable feel, and you feel like you can get a decent grip on it. So this particular knife is made with the designation they use is 14C28N steel, which means about absolutely nothing to me. They tell you that, of course, it's a higher grade steel, and I have no reason to believe it isn't. These, the small version like this, is about $149, and some of them, depending upon the scales that you get, as far as what wood, or some of them are metal and different materials, they can be upwards of about $200. So they're not that horribly priced by any means. And everything is fit and finish on this is really pretty nice. All the ends are smoothly put together. Everything is polished, and the woodwork on it is really quite good. So I'm pleased with that. The knife itself, the blade looks good. It's an interesting shape, a little bit of a curve with the blade there. And one of the things, because this is a cigar cutter, of course you have the space here to put a cigar in, it will cut the cap off of a 58 ring gauge cigar or smaller. Supposedly if you have an even larger cigar, if you just barely sit it on the edge, you can maybe cut a little bit of the cap, but in general, about a 58 ring gauge or smaller, and that should cover most people, I would think. The movement of it is smooth. The edges are nicely polished. The blade itself is well polished. It has sort of a bit of a smooth striation on the finish there. It looks like it's been sanded a little bit in order to give a nice even finish on it. It's very sharp from the factory. They did a good job on that. So, and I would imagine probably you'd need to have it stay quite sharp in order to cut smoothly with a cigar. An interesting thing on it, a little bit with the blade, I'll try to show this this side of the blade where the emblem is. I'll try and see if you can catch that. That's not always the easiest, but they have laser etched the L'Enfant logo there. This side is flat, and this side has a bevel on it, so that the way that you cut this is you have the cigar like from this direction, and then the flat side takes off the end of the cap, and then the beveled side does the cutting. So a little bit different as far as, the blades oftentimes have both sides are beveled down. This is also a good size in terms of just a general, relatively small pocket knife, perhaps a gentleman's pocket knife. It is about 4.5 inches in length, and the blade itself extends out just about 2.5 inches. Hopefully that's coming through. It's pretty narrow as far as a blade. It's quite thin. It's only a few millimeters wide, and but it's solid. There's no play in the blade. It's tight. If I was going to say that there was something that I thought was a little bit of a concern using it as a pocket knife, there is no lock on the blade. You do have this sort of handle that sticks out the top here, and when it is fully opened, a finger sort of naturally wants to hold in there, which gives you a good grip on it, and your thumb naturally rests on top of this, what almost could be like a tang of a blade if it had a handle of a traditional sense. So you should be able to get a pretty good purchase on this, and yet there's nothing that locks it, not even the slightest bit of a spring. And I don't know. I don't know about that. I kind of wish there was some way that it sort of locked it in a little bit. And I know some other people have mentioned the same thing. I think that might increase its usefulness. But as far as cutting a cigar, the curve here of the blade works really well. You can hold it just like so. And the slope in the blade allows for a nice smooth action to come down and cut the cigar smoothly. It really does work well. So in that regard, and that's its primary function, of course, is really a cigar cutter and secondarily a knife. It works well with that. One other sort of an oddball thing is there is a hole in the end of this for you could put a lanyard on it should you so desire. The pouch itself is nice. It's like an extra $30 or $40 or so, and it fits just perfectly fine in there. Holds everything in place. It all is out of, nothing will get scratched up or harmed on it if you toss this into a jacket pocket or however it is that you carry it. But all in all, a nice little knife. This company's only been around a few years. They started as a crowdsourcing thing a few years ago and got the money to be able to go ahead and start making the knives, and they look like they're being relatively successful. This is a second model. There was a larger one, and this is the second one that is smaller, and they sell both of them on their site. The knife comes with a lifetime warranty from them, and they are the two gentlemen who started this. I believe there's maybe a third now who's part of the owners of the company, but they designed the knives in Marseille, and then they're built in, and I'm sure I'm going to mispronounce this. It's spelled like as if you're saying the word theirs, but I don't know, is that pronounced tears? It is an area in France where traditionally cutlery has been made for many generations. So you're dealing with, obviously they subcontract this out would be my guess, and you're dealing with people putting this together who know what they're doing, and the knife shows it. All of the edges are polished, everything put together nicely. There's a nice fluid feel to the movement, and the fit and finish is really top notch. It does work well at cutting a cigar. I think you would have to be pretty sensitive to making sure that you kept the blade sharp, because I believe it could dull relatively, or if it got dull at all, it would be a problem for cutting the cigars cleanly. But it is sharp right now and works really quite well. Again, my only potential concern, I love the shape. I like the little notch for the cigar. It really gives you good purchase on it. But I do have some concerns that potentially the blade could move on you. And indeed, the blade is so sharp, having said that already, but if this came down on your fingers or whatnot, you could get cut pretty quickly. But all in all, I really like it. A nice little pocket knife, a nice cigar cutter, and an interesting piece. The company's done a good job for a younger company, and so hats off to them. The La Fin Lame, Le Petit, I really like it, and I would recommend it if it's something you're thinking about. Well, that's about it for today. Leave any comments you might have down below, and I'll try to get back to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.